All right, another day. Just want to go over some things and give you my thoughts on, first of all, the Bambu Lab H2D obviously was announced last week. I want to give my thoughts. I don't know if I'm going to be getting one or not. I think, if anything, I would just get one H2D, the non-laser version, just for personal use. For a print farm and a business, I don't think it makes sense to get such an expensive printer, especially if you're not printing with multi-material and you don't have a need to print with multi-material items. It would be interesting to calculate the cost savings between using two nozzles for like printing minis and stuff like that, that only require two colors, and the time savings, over like time, how long it'll take to print one of these versus on an A1 versus an H2D. So that would be interesting to calculate kind of the price comparison and see if financially that would make sense, right? If you're able to get more printing hours out of it and you're assuming that you're selling all the things that you're printing, then you can probably easily calculate your profit per print hour, and then you can back into the cost of the machines to see which one makes the most sense. All right, in other news, Bambu Lab is doing a giveaway on their Reddit page. If you guys are not familiar with that, they are giving away an H2D printer along with other things it's actually kind of a very weird giveaway if you think about it. Basically the top 3 people who submit their hours, depending on how many printing hours you have on your printers, they'll be selecting the top 3 and giving away a Bambu Lab H2D printer to those 3, and then there's 2 other lucky winners that will be just chosen at random. My thoughts on that is it's a very weird giveaway to have. Obviously the first thing you kind of think about is the people who are going to be winning this are probably people who have print farms like myself. I'll be joining it. I don't know if I'm going to win or not. I doubt it. But I do suspect that they will ask for your serial numbers to confirm the number of hours. Otherwise, people would just like Photoshop kind of the hours on the printers. There are actually people who are already photoshopping a lot of hours. It's actually kind of funny because there was this one Reddit user who put like 26,000 hours, and if you do the math, it's not even possible to have that many hours, even if you got the printer on July 1st, 2022. So it's just kind of funny and to see. And there's Evan back there smiling away. I didn't get you. All right, so I'm over here right now. All of these black totes, this is how much scrap we have been saving for the past couple of month and a half. All of these are filled to the brim with PLA plastic. My shredder is on the way. It is on the boat, and we are just collecting them here in this corner here. I have 2 full bins going into the corner as well. But anyways, I'll be joining the giveaway. We'll be close to about 27,000 or 27.5 thousand hours across 3 of my machines. Ironically, not ironically, but all 3 of those printers are all P1P printers. And there are 2 of these printers, one right there and one over here. These guys have over, I'm not gonna show you the serial number, but I think I just checked this guy the other day. This one has 9,095 hours. So I have about 3 of those printers that have that many printing hours. Again, they're all P1Ps. I did have my original X1 Carbon, which is my X1C number 1 over here. This is the one I got at the same time I got my first P1P. And this guy only has, I think, like 7 or 8,000 hours. And that's probably because of the AMS, right? When it pauses and there's issues with the AMS, it doesn't count as printing hours. So I suspect that's why the P1Ps have had so much more printing hours. So yeah, these guys have stood the test of time for printing single color plastic. The P1Ps are just a no-brainer for single colors. All right, one other thing that we're going to be sort of upgrading in our farm in the next couple of months is we're going to be ordering 3 kilogram spools. Right now we use 1 kilogram spools, right, like many others, and we constantly have to swap these out and put new spools on. So I'm going to be starting with Sunlu. Sunlu along with other brands, if you talk to the manufacturers, they will most likely be able to get the colors you want in a 3 kilogram or 2 kilogram or 4 or 5 kilogram, depending on what you want. But we're going to start off with 3 kilogram spools. We'll put sort of like a spool holder on the shelves and put some sort of attachment to the back of the PTFE tube so that we can just use 3 kilogram spools. We don't have to use 1 kilogram spools because it will save a lot of time for not having to swap out the spools all the time. Additionally, we'll be probably swapping over these guys to 3 kilogram spools as well once we get those in. This is running a batch of green currently. All right, let's talk about this guy. This is a concrete mixer. I got this on Amazon. It was only like $100. It was on sale. Super cheap for what it is. It's an electric cement mixer that spins. And I use this to mix my resin with the colorant. Instead of using my hands and doing it manually, I just decided to invest in something like this that makes it a little bit more streamlined and easier to actually do. I don't have to use my hands. I just measure out the ratios, dump it in here, and then have it spin. And then, yeah. The only pain in the ass is cleaning the inside of this guy because there's like these little pellets of colorant that get stuck in the barrel. So after every batch of colorant that I do, I make sure to clean this out pretty thoroughly before I put the new batch of colorant in. All right, and so once we mix it, we kind of put them in these big tubs. I'm going to invest in a 5 gallon bucket and just dump them into the 5 gallon bucket. This doesn't really hold that much, but once it gets mixed, you put it in here, and then we dump it into the hopper. When it gets low, let's see how this is doing. Got a good amount in there. Yeah, this thing was full from the beginning of the day. I started the lineup around 8 a.m. It's currently about 2 o'clock. So this is the spools that came off. Again, we're doing batches of green. So all this came off today. And this is all of the red that we made the other day. Red and some green. All right, and a lot of people ask about how this homemade PLA comes out. So this is printing a manatee, I believe. So this is the red that's being used that we made on a manatee. Oop. Comes out kind of matte. And here is a close-up of the green filament that we just made on our capybaras. Also, another note on the H2D, I'm just a little bit confused as to why they made a laser engraver and a laser cutter within the 3D printer. I think if they just announced the H2D, the non-laser combo, as just their new flagship, I think it would have been much more well received. I don't know if, let me know if you guys are gonna get the laser version of it, what kind of applications you'll be using it for. I think, the core of their business, of their customers is people who 3D print. I don't know how many people will actually play around with the actual laser cutter. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, it would have been cool if they sort of combined the hot end nozzle system to have both the 3D printing nozzle and the laser into one, instead of having to swap out the modules and swap out the add-ons. And it'd be cool to be able to 3D print and laser at the same time. I think that would have been very innovating. Probably impossible to do, but yeah, I would have liked to see that. It would be interesting if you could just 3D print something on the bed and then be able to laser engrave it while the print is on the bed, instead of having to go in and swap the hot end or the tools and everything like that. So that would have been cool, but oh well. All right, the date of this recording, I think it's April 3rd, Wednesday or Thursday? Thursday? It's Thursday? Thursday. Trump's tariffs just went into effect last night. I think 25% across the board again, on top of what he had originally put in place. So there's obviously a lot of talk about how this will impact the 3D printing community, businesses around 3D printing, because I don't know, 95% of filament 3D printers, they're all made and manufactured in China. So there's obviously going to be a huge financial impact on my business, and how does it really impact me? Basically in two ways. One is the price of the 3D printer, and two is the actual cost of the filament that I buy from overseas, because now I'm going to be having to pay a little bit extra to get those things here to the United States. Good thing for my business is I have all of these printers that I purchased years and weeks ago, so it's only for new printers that I plan to get going forward. That's also one of the main reasons why I decided to try to do my own filament line, in-house filament, to see how that would work in my print farm, and being able to just print out any color basically that I want that I'm low on. So for instance, we were low on red, we're doing red. We had one roll of green left, or actually 2 rolls of green left over there. So I bought some green color, and now we're making some green. We're low on pink. Solid colors are very simple to make. I say simple because there are obviously a lot of issues that happen. Anyways, kind of what I was trying to say is the biggest expense in a 3D printing business is the cost of your plastic. So the tariffs will definitely impact myself. I'm sure a lot of other people who do business with manufacturers overseas. We'll see when this starts to impact. If you buy off Amazon and you buy plastic off suppliers that already have stock here in the United States, when that stock depletes, if the price will be increased at that point. So I assume that they would. Who knows how long that's actually going to take. And that kind of brings me to the second point of the tariffs. Is this is also a good thing, in the sense that if you're selling online, right? So like I sell a lot on Amazon. You have a lot of competition from Chinese sellers. We're going to see how those tariffs will impact people who sell online that are from China, who are importing their goods here to the United States. How much of an impact these tariffs will have on them, right? If they're forced to increase their prices, that's good for me as a American business and manufacturer here, making the stuff here. I don't have to pay those additional tariffs. I'll just be paying the tariffs on the actual plastic that I import, and also the printers that I buy from companies that import those printers to the United States. Hope that makes sense, right? So it's not all a bad thing. I kind of look at it as a good, as good for my business overall. I think having those Chinese sellers having to pay more to sell here in the United States benefits me as an American, as a United States seller. Hope that kind of makes sense. These bags took me forever to get. Finally, I was able to order these bags from USPS's website. They finally delivered them here to my warehouse. This is just the excess that we have. We have a bunch in the front still, so now I will never have to run out of bags. At one point we were running out of bags, and we were just giving all the packages to them in boxes. We probably go through like 8 to 10 bags per day. Maybe not that much. Maybe right now 6 to 8 bags per day. We are starting to ramp up for Easter, so it's getting extremely busy. We're doing about 300-400 orders per day across all the marketplaces. So these bags do come in handy. All right, this is the red that we also made. This is like a Captain America shield. You can see how the color came out on this multi-material print. Pretty cool. Also, let's talk about the filament line. We have a fan that blows kind of air to this area. I have put a HEPA filter here as well in the station there. What else? Our dial indicator. You can see that we kind of tilted this a little bit so that it aligns with the tension of the pulling mechanism, the puller and the winder. Before it was kind of straight, like this was kind of straight, and it was pulling tension unnecessarily and giving false readings to the actual measurement of the filament. So, like I said, we're waiting on our shredder to come in. Should be here in a couple weeks. Once the shredder gets in, we have to get the electrician in here and wire it directly to our 480 volt panel. It has to be directly, I guess, directly wired into the panel. And then after that, we'll be able to recycle all the failed prints and the poop that we produce here in the farm. Here's another close-up of our homemade red on the Orca. Also, maybe if I do win the H2D on the giveaway, maybe I'll do a giveaway of that printer on my Skool community. Maybe. We'll see. All right, this printer has both our homemade red and our homemade green on the AMS system. Printing away. All right, so here is the print on an Outtro. Not all of the prints come out perfect. You can see there's a little bit of under extrusion in the Outtro and inconsistent layer lines, but you are able to get a finished print out of this. We'll see how much of a detriment this is to the customer when they buy this. But yeah, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. All right, maybe somebody who actually has experience making plastic can answer the question for me. At the end of the day, are you supposed to but empty out this entire barrel and screw in preparation for the next day, or are you supposed to leave filament and plastic in the barrel and just turn off the machine, let things cool down, and then restart it back up tomorrow and heat it back up and then extrude out the filament that's kind of in the barrel? I've been reading very mixed things on whether or not some articles say that you should always leave the barrel full, even at the end of the day. I reached out to the manufacturer of this machine. They tell me that you should always have the barrel empty at the end of the day. So I'm getting a lot of mixed messages. I'm not sure what the best practice is to do for these smaller extrusion lines. So if anybody has any information or knows anything, can give me some advice, please leave a comment below. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on the new tariffs from Trump. Oh, actually, one thing I forgot to talk about in this video is, once again, we are approaching the deadline for the ban of TikTok. As of recording, today's Thursday, so there's 2.5 more days. I think the ban technically goes into effect again on Saturday night into Sunday. I'm fairly certain that Trump will extend this deadline once again, and I think after that they're going to extend it again and again and again. I don't think TikTok's going to go away, which is, I guess, a good thing. If I were to look at my sales for this year, I think TikTok is actually my #1 platform out of all the platforms that I sell on. So it's been a big revenue generator for the business. So it would be very sad to see it go, but like I said, I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I'm not really too worried. It's just interesting to hear all these articles and news reporters reporting on the same thing over and over again. Oh, TikTok is going to get banned, blah, 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 blah. Amazon just put in a bid the other day, 2 days before the deadline. So I don't think, first of all, I don't think China and ByteDance is going to sell TikTok to any US company, let alone Amazon. But alas, we shall see. Like I said, this is going to do it for this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave a comment down below. And I will see you guys in the next video.